Welcome everyone to a somewhat unscheduled live. It's an unusual time for me to do this at 9:35 p.m. here in the beautiful province of Alberta, Canada. But I felt I needed to try to hit a different time zone to catch the people in Canada who are getting ready to be tucked in bed and go to sleep, who have a little bit of time on their hands to listen to my thoughts on what the future is going to hold after this massive draw. Now, last Saturday, I had an opportunity to tell you a few high-level things, but I've had some more time to think about this with a little bit more clarity, and I'm going to share with you what I think is coming in 2021 for Express Entry and all of you FSWs, as well as you CECers. All right, so right off the bat, the first thing that I want to share with you guys is that I will open up a little bit of room here for some questions as we go through this. It's going to be interactive. I'm not really doing things the way YouTube likes it, I know. And these videos that I do when they're live really don't produce very well on the YouTube side to get it stretched out to the masses. So one thing I want to ask you guys is that are tuning in here and watching these lives is to like and subscribe and share it, okay? Once I cross over the 100,000 mark, then these videos that I'm doing are actually going to get the reach that some of those other goofy channels are getting where there's nothing of substance. So as some of you may know, I'm an immigration lawyer. I practice out of my home, and I have a firm with lawyers who also practice out of their homes all across the province of Alberta. We have staff that are in other locations in Canada as well. But I'm the national chair of the Canadian Bar Association's immigration section, and I have lots of opportunities to connect with everyone from civil servants in Ottawa to the government departments, to politicians, to the minister and his staff themselves. And so I work really hard to represent the interests of my clients and the interests of all of the other immigration lawyers that are a part of the Canadian Bar Association. And so as part of that, obviously, I become quite familiar of what's happening and what is projected to happen within the country. And that insight I share with the other members of the immigration bar, and I do my very best to share it with all of you. So you can go watch those other channels and watch their fancy little audio and video clips and things like that. But at the end of the day, right here is where you're going to get some information that you can actually rely upon. So those of you who are Feb 13ers that I call you, who received ITAs, you guys have got a gift from heaven. And those of you who are tuning in late, the reality is, yes, 1 week ago, almost 1 week ago, we're just about there was a massive draw, 27,332 people, and the lowest score was 75. You can watch the other videos that I did on right here on the YouTube channel, as well as those who are on Facebook and Periscope watching this. Make sure you jump over here to the YouTube channel and watch them if I haven't already posted them on those other groups. But I talk about the first 5 things, the top 5 things that you Feb 13ers really need to do immediately. Hopefully you guys watched it, because some of those things that I pointed out last Saturday, if you did not see it and you did not react instantly, you can be in a situation where you're going to really struggle to get the documents that you need to be prepared to submit your ITA. So watch that video. On Saturday, I also took some time to break down my initial thoughts and my initial basically projections of what it was going to do. And I want to talk a little bit more about that today. There's a lot of people out there, a ton, that are really, really nervous, that don't know what to do when it comes to the future. Do we submit my application? And you guys can post in the comments below. Do you feel like now is the time to submit your application if you're outside of Canada as a federal skilled worker? That's the question I'm going to start off by asking. Do you feel like now is the time to submit? Or are you listening to those haters out there that are trying to convince you that, oh, don't go to Canada. All they care about is the people inside. With the travel restrictions, there's no hope for us. You guys have heard that. So the question is, are you going to listen to those haters and hold off? Or are you going to keep fighting and being persistent and making sure that you're giving yourself the best chance of success? I think you guys know where where I side on. But post in the comments below what you think FSW Outlanders should do in light of this massive 27,332 individual ITA draw. So now I also want to extend a question to all of you Feb 13ers, those who received an invitation on that magical day, and those that are in Canada right now who missed out, who didn't realize that this could even be possible, who were languishing on your work permit, extending it year after year, hoping that CEC would go down. I know you guys are out there. So tell me what you think. What do you think you should do? Are you going to hope that they're going to do another draw? Or have you listened to the other haters that say, it's going to be 3 or 4 months by the time they decide to do more draws? Well, today I'm going to show you, not just give you my opinion, I'm going to show you what the facts are. And then you can make the decision for yourself. I'll throw in my thoughts. All right. Let's just jump in quick and just say hello to a few people here who are tuned in. So this Facebook user over in the Express Entry Law private Facebook group has been waiting for me for the last hour. Thank you for being so patient. That's dedication. And then we have here, Cora says, Mark, why they are not working on files from January to April 2020. It's been 11 months now, whereas people are getting it in less than 6 months as well. Understand it's all over the map, Core, and the reality is anyone outside of Canada, there's so many factors at play that I couldn't begin to explain why some are going forward and others are not. So that's a question that happens all the time. Yes, Shaw, it is a surprise late show. So make sure that you guys let other people know that we're live, because what I want to talk about today is these essential kind of thoughts that you need to get into your mind and understand when you're trying to make decisions for the future, especially 2021. All right. EST here. Yes, it is. Akshay says, hello, how are you? I'm doing good. Lita says, thank you for all the information. Really appreciate your expertise. Thank you to you too, Lita. I really appreciate that. Any chance for FSW? That actually is what we're going to talk about in this little late night session that I'm doing here. All right. And someone's got a question. You bet. We'll get those questions for you guys. Okay. So let's start off with something before we shift to the questions. So hold your questions off for a little bit. I had asked what you guys thought. Do you think that, this is something that you guys should do? Should you submit your application or not? That was the question, whether you're inside Canada or outside Canada. Like, is there, does it make sense to submit the application? So Abdi here says they must take their chances. I agree. That is the first thing I'm going to tell you. You should get that submitted. You absolutely should. Let's see what else we have here as far as comments. Okay, Chimney says, I'm CEC outside Canada with a CRS 440. I've applied after the massive draw. Good for you. I'm glad that you did that, Chimney, because understand, this is the advice that I would give anybody who is in the process of applying. Absolutely anyone. All right, let's see who else we've got here who's responding in. This person over in the Express Entry Law Facebook group says, do you think CEC will go down to 300? Okay, that's a perfect lead in right there. Let's flip gears. Let's shift the screen over, okay? And then we're going to take a look at this. What I want to show you guys is the levels planning. These 2021 to 2023 immigration levels plan is what the government has basically identified as their targets for immigration. Now, you've heard repeatedly, you can see right here that the government aims, and if I highlight this for you so you guys can see, they aim to bring in 401,000 new permanent residents in 2021. That number is expected to go up to 411 in 2002 and 421,000 in 2023. That's the starting point. Now let's go down and take a look at what they have here for levels. So you can see right here, this is where I want you guys to focus your attention. The economic class, this 401,000 includes all permanent residents, not just those who are coming in under express entry. So you can see there's economic right here. There is family right here. There's refugees and protected persons. There's humanitarian and other. So you can see here in this breakdown, of those 401,000, federal high skilled make up 108,500 total spots. What is included? Well, let's click on this link right here. This includes the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Trades Program, and the Canadian Experience Class. Okay, do you see that? So what it doesn't include is the provincial nominees. So 108,000. So if we go up here, you can see federal high skilled 108,000. And then we go down here to the provincial nominees, 80,800 are for the PNPs. Okay, so let's now take a look at this crazy draw. So the last ministerial instructions, and I'm going to go back here to the main screen here. I've been doing a little bit of calculation in the background so that we could have a discussion. So the haters, and I'm going to flip back to my main screen here. The haters tell you that there's not going to be any draws next month because the government has already issued so many nominations that there's not going to be anything coming up. So don't bother. It's a waste of time. We know, as we've talked about this, that the only way you're going to have a chance is by getting your profile in. At 75, if you're in Canada, it doesn't matter what your scores are. If you have 1 year of skilled work experience and you have at least a CLB5, which is basically a 4.5555 on the IELTS and 5 across the board for the CELPIP, get your profile in. And I'm sure there are a ton of people that are now scrambling to get their profiles in. That's just the nature of what's just happened, right? So you owe it to yourself to get it in there and give yourself a chance. Okay, now let's take a look at these actual numbers and try to make sense of this. So of the 27,332, right? That's how many invitations have been made out of the total of 108,000 total spots that are potentially available. But you guys have to understand something. When it comes to calculating these numbers, it's people that have actually landed in Canada. So their target for 2021 is 108,000. That's the target, right? But if the borders are closed, if they can't get people in to land this year, maybe at the end of the year, they'll be able to do a big, massive push. They are banking on the fact that they can get through all of these 27,000 applications before the end of the year and convert them all to permanent residents. That's the only option that they have, right? Now, yes, there's family class. Yes, there's other categories, but to meet the 108,000, they have to do this in order to meet that. So if you do the math, you can see we are just closing into March. 2 months are gone. So in the next 10 months, they are going to need to extend, 85,000 more, roughly, maybe a little bit less. And if you go to the targets here, you'll see that there is a range. So the low end for this 108,000 is 81,000. That's kind of the low range. If you see right here, low range and high range, they're shooting from anywhere from 81,000 to they could actually go up as high as 110,000 if they were able to. And remember, last year, they only brought in approximately a third of the total target numbers because of the pandemic. So, and I'm not sharing my screen, back to my screen again. Here's the low range, here's the high range. So low range 81, high range 110, 108, 500 total. So there is still lots of room, you guys. There is lots of room. In fact, if they went back, and I keep flipping back and forth, but this is the way we're going to do it. Even if they went back historically, and let's take a look at these rounds of invitations. So you can see historically, if they did rounds of invitations, and remember, we're trying to hit 108,000. So if I get my old calculator out here, and we'll just go 108,000 just roughly. And if we say, how many did they issue for this past year, total numbers, remember, provincial nominee program doesn't count. Provincial nominee program is its own entity. So just the CEC right here are the only ones that we're going to count. And if we calculate that, it actually comes up to 36,708 total invitations this year. So if we take 108 and we minus 36,708 roughly, that leaves us with 71,000 invitations to be made. Over 10 months, we divide it by 10. That means that they would have to do, well, we could probably divide it by 20 if there were 2 draws. So if we did that, that means that they would have to do draws of 3,564 every 2 weeks to meet the 108 quota if every one of those people were actually converting to permanent residence, but they're not. So they still have people coming from last year who received their ITAs, who have gone through the system, and they're working their way through to fill and help assist with the quota this year. There will be individuals who receive invitations to apply nearing the end of the year that are actually going to be factored in for the following year. Those following targets for the following year, as you recall, are 110,500. So hopefully you guys are starting to get this. And I didn't mean to get too technical, but sometimes that's just what we need to do, right? So people can understand that this amount that they've extended is actually not that unusual. It seems crazy that they would do it all at once, but there is room. There is absolutely room for people. Now, I want to go back once again to these targets, and I want you to look at something that's just happened. So with the provincial nominee programs, their target is 80,800 right here, provincial nominee programs. And what has just happened? What did IRCC do to the PNPs? The PNPs had no clue that they were going to issue a round of invitation that scooped out everybody, even the lowest of low 75ers. They just had no clue. And for those that are tuning in, all of this discussion is being driven by this crazy thing that we just saw on Saturday. So if you are someone in Canada, understand, just because they drew out all of these CEC people does not mean that the draws are going to end. Those who say they're going to wait 3 or 4 months before they do another one are misguided and do not understand. They don't understand. As long as these borders are closed, and my goodness, these borders are going to be closed for the balance of the year, they're going to need to pull everybody they can, squeeze everybody they can out of Canada first. So if you miss the draw, do not stress. Get your act together, put your profile together. I have done a ton of videos to help assist you guys. Go there, look at what you need immediately to do, and then get that profile in. Now, you guys know where I stand on this. I have done everything that I can to try to help you understand what you need to do now. So watch the videos on my top 5 things. I'll give you a little quick summary. You must get your medical booked. You've got to get your police certificates. You've got to make sure that none of your documents are expired. And you have to go make sure your reference letters are straightened around. Those are things you can't control. There's other ones you've got to deal with. In Canada, the one thing you don't have to deal with is your bank. You don't have to deal with settlement funds. But each of those components that are outside of your control, that are dealt with by an outside entity, most of you probably your educational credential assessments. The irony of this last draw is you didn't even need one. You did not even need an educational credential assessment to receive that ITA. I did a video on that. How in the world can you get 75 points? Well, you can't do it as a single. You actually need a spouse. And you don't even need high school, right? So you don't even need an ECA to get that last draw. So there's hope for everyone. I also want to emphasize that I have completely transformed the way I run my office. We do collaborative reviews. We work with our clients. No longer do I represent and make you guys go through my representative portal. I don't do that. I let you guys drive the ship, and our firm, our lawyers, provide all of the support in the world to help you review your application in detail. And that's fine. But I charge $4,000 Canadian for that process. And for some of you who've been without work in Canada, who do not have, periods where you've really depleted your savings, you can't necessarily afford that, but you still need the assistance. And I've talked about this repeatedly. The officers are going to be under tremendous pressure to get the applications processed as quickly as possible so that they can meet their own processing standards. And if an officer is sitting in her home working on an application and she sees anything that's just not right, they're going to refuse it. You will not get a second chance. And I say that because by the time they do this, by the time they refuse your application and send it back, it could be 6, 7, 8 months down the road. And these magical, unbelievable draws with a low of 75 may not come again. So please, please, whatever you do, do not listen to all of those people out there that say it is so easy, you can do it yourself, you don't need any help. That is garbage. And I, as an immigration lawyer, get so many consults booked. I can tell you tomorrow morning, I should say it's Friday, Monday morning, I was looking at my calendar. I have 6 consultations booked for just the morning alone. 6 consultations. And I can guarantee you that there are at least 2 of those people that have run into problems with either choosing the wrong representative and they're freaking out because they don't trust them and they're afraid to put their life in the hands of this representative who submitted their application in their own in the representative portal. I just did a video which sounds really harsh, but basically on the YouTube channel, it's how to fire your consultant and take back your own your own express entry application, even if they've submitted it in their rep portal. Even if you've got an invitation to apply, you can pull it back. There are some wonderful consultants out there, so knowledgeable, but I can't tell you how many times I've had people book consults with me to ask for a second opinion. My goodness, you've already paid this person to be your representative, and now you're booking a consult with me because you don't trust them. Why in the world would you continue to put your faith in them? Leaving aside the money, who cares? Toss it out the window. This is your future. And if you have any doubt, you do not have to stay with them. They don't hold you ransom. Go watch that video and it will show you how to create your own MyCIC account and pull it back. Okay? Now, I am here. The lawyers in my firm are here to help you. But please, and I say this over and over, do not listen to those people out there who say it's so easy. In fact, some of those yahoos have submitted their own application and they have done things that are just wrong. I've seen it. And an officer didn't catch it, approved it, and they think therefore that that is the best way. And then a whole bunch of other people follow them because they're patting themselves on the chest and they're saying, I'm awesome. I did it myself. I didn't need help from anyone. And they were just lucky. You follow their pattern and an officer who's actually on the ball catches it, you're done. You do not get a second chance. You don't get a second chance to pick your knock again. You do not get a second chance to choose, literally, to I don't even know where to start. There are so many places that can fall apart. Your reference letter, right? You didn't get your police certificates done properly. You didn't notice that your IELTS has expired. You don't get a second chance. And so it's for that very reason that I shifted. And how, I don't know why I made this decision. You know, I've been marketing my do-it-yourself course for years now, and people have been purchasing it and it's been super helpful. And you can see the testimonials. Go click on the link below and you can see. But I realized that it wasn't enough. But now, crazy me, in my efforts to try to explain what I'm doing, I gave the impression that if you purchase the course, you only have the material for 2 weeks, which is totally not the case. I did 2 consults this very morning where 2 people said, well, I would have subscribed, but for $347 and to only have access to it for 2 weeks, it didn't make sense. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Mark, what did you do? And then I noticed that we had listed February the 22nd, which is Monday, until March the 5th as the period for the master class. And then it dawned on me, oh my goodness, how many people out there that could truly benefit from the course are choosing not to do it? Because why in the world would you pay that much money to only have access to something for 2 weeks? Oh, so now I am very quickly trying to let people know that everything in that course is yours for life. All of those 56 videos, every single individual one that relates to documents, are all accessible for life. I've revamped the whole course right at the beginning of this year. I just launched it, 2021. How ironic. Every video is brand new. And on top of all of that, I made a decision to offer just the bonus of all bonuses. That is the thing I've just enjoyed more than anything in the whole world as I've done these classes now, is a 2-week period. It effectively works out to about 12 days, but Monday to Friday, 2 weeks in a row, every single day for 1 hour, I go online just like this, answering the questions that fill in the gaps that my comprehensive course may not possibly, well, it covers pretty much all of it, but sometimes people miss things. It covers all of those gaps, 10 sessions effectively for no extra cost, just because I can see the need. And my goodness, you know, right now people book a consult and it's $300 Canadian for 25 minutes, but I can't scale that. One person after another, that's great. But this gives me the ability to help up to 250 people at the same time. And so this course starts on Monday. If you want to get in, click on the link and be a part of it. I want to show you guys one thing, and then we're going to get into questions, and I'm going to answer your questions till the cows come home. If you go over here to the Express and click on that link, it will take you right here. And what I did, you can watch the video. It explains actually what's in the course. I even show you what's in there. So go over there and watch it. It's approximately,
Hi, I'm Mark Holthe.
well, I don't even know how long it is.
I am
6
the founder
minutes.
of the Canadian Immigrant.
Not even long, okay? But go down here, scroll down. You've got 2 days till it's over, and go and check out what people are saying. And when I say what people are saying, I haven't had a chance to provide the videos and update this for the very last class that just ended today, but I did pull out some of the comments. Yildiz, her comments, you're right, Mark. This is the best education I've ever taken in Express Entry. Congratulations and thank you for your hard work. Thesura says, thank you so much, Mark. I hope you continue to keep your energy and help aspiring applicants in the days to come. This was the best $347 I ever spent for sure. Shelly says, thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone, for providing me with great tips and answers to so many difficult issues. This type of learning is unmatched. Thank you. And finally, Amro, he says, and this is what you guys have to understand. He says, I ran out of questions. It was a pleasure, and I can't thank you enough, Mark. It was my honor to meet everyone here in this group virtually. I hope we could meet again in the Canadian reality in the future, especially you, Mark. Stay safe and all the best for everyone. I just literally flipped this around from our last class that was today. So that is what we're dealing with, you guys, and there's a limited time to join because once Monday hits, right before the class, the cart closes and there's no more access to it. So if you want to be a part of it, you need to take action now to do that. All right. That there, you guys, is at a very high level where I'm at. All the efforts that I'm making to try to be of the most help and benefit to you. It's not an easy, straightforward process. It's just not. And when I listen to people's questions, I can see that there are so many different things people think about that, you know, that are just, there's no hope of immigration. They don't care about you. They don't. The information they give is out there. And if you do not follow it, if you miss it, you will lose out on your opportunity. All right. We've got a lot of questions. Let's jump in. We're going to do a little bit different. Sometimes people post them and, you know, before I've kind of gone with this view, but I'm going to stick here with this one and let's see what's happening. So we've got Amjad. Hello. Good to see you. Okay. Let's see who else. We've got Himanshu, who's over in India. Great to have you joining us, Himanshu. Thank you for joining. All right, let's see. We're open season, guys. Jagmeet says, my positive LMIA states that I have to submit my PR application or work permit before expiry. Yes, that's true. I've already submitted my PR application, so do I need to submit work permit request or I can avoid it? I think we already answered this one from before, Jagmeet. Maybe you weren't listening, but if you have an LMIA, submit your work permit application. Submit it. I think in every case, the expectation with a dual intent LMIA is that you were going to pursue that. So you don't want to be in a position where you choose not to do it, and then immigration makes the decision that you didn't take a step that you should have taken. No officer is going to tell you one way or another whether it's mandatory to submit that work permit. I'm telling you that it's in your best interest to do it and show that you're complying. If the expiry has not yet happened, file it. Okay? All right. Next up, Jamel says, hey, Mark from Calgary, YYC. Sweet. That's awesome. Awesome to have you here. Fantastic. Okay. He says for international students. Yes. For international students, what are the chances for them to be permanent eventually when they're inside Canada? Your chances are, well, let's see. I think the best way to describe and to answer this is, how likely is it to snow this week in Lethbridge? It's about that likely, my friend. So if you are coming through as an international student, absolutely the chances of you eventually becoming a permanent resident are off the charts. If you can get here, the pathway will be open for you. In the current world we're at right now, you as an international student have a significant leg up on virtually everyone else. So there you have, there's my answer. Okay. This person, I know we talked about this. Do you think CEC will go down to 300? Absolutely. Like if you look at the numbers, and do you know what? Let's flip back. And I love showing you guys. It's one thing for these people to get on their fancy YouTube channels or whatever they're doing and to throw out all of these comments and predictions and stuff. But that's not me. I am an immigration lawyer. I go to the source. I make my determinations based on facts, not by just gut, right? So if you look at this, what I want to look at is where things were at before this crazy draw. So if we go back here and we'll go back to the previous page and we look at these numbers, okay? So 451 to 500, there were 26,177 candidates, okay? We know that within this period, 400 to 450, there's 47,000. We know that the majority of these, a substantial number, are outlanders, are federal skilled worker. But if we go all the way down, all the way to 300, see there's 48,000 here. You see so many numbers. 301 to 350, there's 25,000. 0 to 300, 3,294. The only way you're going to get 0 to 300 is if you're a CEC candidate. It's the only way. To qualify through the Federal Skilled Worker Program, it's going to be really tough to have lower than 300 points and still meet the eligibility under the Federal Skilled Worker. So we know all of these are gone, right? They've all been scooped out, and quite a large number here as well have been scooped out in that 27,000. And so when you think about what the future holds, do you think that the next CEC only draw is going to be, much more than 300? Well, it could be if everybody was, if they were looking at pulling everyone out. And how fast can people get their actual, how fast can they get their applications in? If you weren't counting on it, and you're in the low bracket, you never even predicted this. You may have just put your profile in on a whim. And now those people are fighting to get their police certificates, their medicals, their reference letters, all of those things that they need to have in order to meet the 90-day to get their ITA submitted. Those of you who have not yet met, like weren't in the pool, are now scrambling. Maybe you didn't even think to write the language test. Maybe you're holding off. Good luck with that. Maybe you're going to go, now and you're going to scramble to try to get your medical done. Maybe, maybe not. Those things, language is essential. You can't submit your profile without it. Technically, you can get away without having an ECA if you meet that, if you meet that minimum work history of 1 year and you have the language test CLB 5. If you have that, you can get your profile into the pool and you don't even need an ECA. That's the 75 range, right? And that's not even getting any points for age. Like that's the insanity of this. That's how crazy it is, right? So for those of you who are wondering what you should do, move forward. My step-by-step course, you can literally get everything you need. And I'll tell you something else about the course. When I flip back my screen here and I show you guys about this course here, the most important thing about this course right here is that when you come out of it, I literally share and teach every ounce of knowledge I have with you. The power of education is what gives you the security. By knowing and understanding at a level that many of your consultants don't even understand, you will be in a greater position whether or not you're even using a consultant, whether or not you're even using a lawyer who doesn't even have the time to give you a one-to-one, opportunity. There's some big firms out there that use paralegals who do everything that have varying levels of competence. And if you have no direct interaction with the lawyer on the file, it doesn't matter how smart they are. At the end of the day, you're only going to be as good as the paralegal below them that's helping you put it together. And when it comes to the consultants, they're all over the map in terms of knowledge and ability. Like I said, there are some that are awesome, and there are lots that are they're just not equipped to really give you the information you need and to help you. And so this course is designed to protect you. You have options. Even if you choose to stay with your rep, that course will give you the power and the knowledge to be able to make sure that your representative is on the right track. And sometimes your representative won't even think of things, especially if you're having trouble getting your reference letters or having trouble getting some documentation or trying to figure out how the heck you word your letter of explanation. I've seen some reps say, oh, go do your own letter of explanation, which is totally fine, but then they don't do anything to review it. Go get your reference letter. And then they don't even give you any advice or direction on what it needs to look like. They just take it and submit it, right? And so the course can help you even if you've got a representative. And if you don't trust them, fire them. I don't care if it's a lawyer. I don't care if it's a consultant. If you do not have faith that they're going to take care of you, that they're going to make sure with forensic level of detail that your application is correct, fire them. Who cares about the money you spent? Really? Are you worried that, oh, I spent $3,000, so I should stick with them? Oh, I spent $4,000 or $5,000, so I should stick with them. Seriously, who cares if at the end of the day, your application doesn't get approved because something is missed? The simplest mistake can take an application that was destined for approval all the way down to rejection and the dream of remaining in Canada gone. And I apologize. I don't mean to be so lectury today, but I've had so many consults and I know what's coming tomorrow, guys. I know what's coming, right? And there's other issues that are coming up. People who receive the invitation when maybe they shouldn't have because immigration is rounding their work history. We can fix this. We can work through it. We talk about it in the course. The consultations I have tomorrow, I can guarantee that at least one of them is going to be in that situation. This great magical gift from heaven is something that cannot be wasted. You cannot take a chance. That's why I created this full 56 long video individual lessons that are all full of videos. There's document checklists. There are templates to use. There are tools to help you figure out your knock code to make sure your reference letter isn't missing. And there are just a boatload, like there's over 30 sample reference letters that I have in there, police certificates from countries galore, all designed to help you know that you're on the right track. And I would put this course up against anything out there, including those of you who are represented by representatives. You take this course, you'll be more equipped to understand what to do than many of those representatives that are actually representing you. So, all right, let's get back to, and I apologize, but this is something I've spent my life doing. And I literally think every single person in the world, whether you're represented or not, would benefit from this course. And remember that 56 lessons, all of those things I talked about are just the beginning, and you have them for life. For 2 weeks, effectively Monday to Friday, for 1 hour, and often it goes longer. This February the 22nd, it's the 19th today, they're going to be at 5 p.m. They're geared specifically towards you guys that are in Canada initially. Now, obviously, 5 is going to be early in India, 5:30 in the morning, but it also gives you the ability to watch it before you go to work. So I tried to find a time that would work perfect for everybody, that they could attend these live sessions. And it's me, just like this. Just what you see here, the snow and all. This is what the live sessions are, but they're in a private Facebook group for just the cohort of people that subscribe for the February 22nd masterclass. all the material for life, everything in the Facebook page for life, all of the videos for life, all of the friendships, all of the connections, all of the big family that we create in this group, all is there for life. Questions, if you can't make the live session, post the questions in the group and they will get answered. It's amazing how you empower people, you teach them, and then they help one another. That's why when I went back to, if I flip back my screen here and I scroll back down to I think it was Shelley who said, thank you, Mark, and thank you everyone for providing me with the great tips. It is one amazing, just synergistic group of people who are all going in the same direction at the same time. And when someone watches a video that I've shown in one of the lessons and they know the answer, wow, it is unbelievable what can be accomplished. Okay. Wow. These videos are always super long and and I love them. I know the stupid YouTube algorithm doesn't promote them as much, but like and subscribe and let's show YouTube that this is actually what people want, not short little 5-minute videos that don't even give people information or help them. Okay, let's continue on. Sid says, yes, submit your application at any cost. Makes total sense. There's a big clap for you, Sid. Okay, Kaushik says, I'm a CEC application and I'm in Canada with my wife. My application was submitted on June 10th. Everything is passed as of December 2020, but still no decision. Please help. Kaushik, don't stress, man. Like, do not stress. 9 months. 9 months is the average processing time for in Canada. You are right on target. Hang in there. It is going to come. If you're truly inside and no one is outside, it will come. 9 months is the range right now. And that's straight from immigration. A week, let's see, today's Friday. A week ago, we had our weekly meetings and not weekly, monthly representative meetings. And I attended it and those questions were asked and they were specifically answered from the heads of immigration. So 9 months is right in the range. Some are happening sooner, some are happening later, but 9 months is the average. So you're still right on target, Kaushik. Okay, Sid says Outlander. Okay, will FSW draw happen? Anbu, I do not see an FSW draw happening right away. I don't see it until the travel restrictions are really lifted. The virus is more checked. The vaccines are here spreading out across Canada. I don't see the FSW opening up large, and immigration recognizes this. And I think they're realizing they have a massive bottleneck of individuals that they can't finalize. And so I think they're going to be hesitant to do FSW draws, at least for the initial short period of time here. But Anbu, just like anyone else who's wondering, you do not have the luxury of waiting. You have to give yourself the best chance possible. And many of you are going to have birthdays. Your scores are going to go down. Do not lose hope. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to shift back to my screen again. This time we're going to go back to the levels planning, and I'm going to highlight this again. Provincial nominee programs, 80,800. That's the target for them across Canada throughout the year. You can see how high it is. 108,000 through the federal program and 80,800. That is a substantial number of the economic immigration program offloaded to the provinces. Listen, this is what's happened. I spoke recently with the head of the Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program. Twice I've talked to her in the last 3 weeks. And I can tell you, the provinces had no clue that the feds were going to pull out this massive number. And who did they pull out? They pulled out many of the prime candidates that the provincial nominee programs used to fill their 6,000 plus quotas. What does that mean for you Outlanders? What that means is if these candidates have a choice between express entry and going through the provincial nominee program, what are they going to choose? The PNP paper-based programs can take up to 18, 19, 20 months to process. And with this pandemic, who knows ultimately what's going to happen? Even if the processing times are 12 months, and I have had some paper-based applicants have their applications approved through, example, the Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program. in right around 12 months, maybe a little bit more. But if you had a choice, the possibility of getting your application processed in, say, 9 months versus 12, even in that really, obscene example, people would turn and go through express entry in a heartbeat. There's going to be people who have had nominations issued, who have their applications submitted in the queue, who have received this invitation now and decide to go through express entry even after submitting their paper-based. How do I know? Because I've got clients that we've done that for. We don't know what's going to happen with the paper-based, the lockdowns, the social distancing in Canada. We don't know, but we do know they're processing express entry. We do know that they're online. So many people are going to be going through this process of abandoning their provincial nominations in favor of express entry. That is what has just happened. And the provincial nominee programs knew that something was happening. They knew there was something that they could smell on the wind. There was some change coming. But no one knew that it was going to be this drastic. So what are they going to do now, you outlanders? They're going to start to issue notifications of interest to people who have their profiles in the pool who fit their needs, the gaps that now they can't fill with the insiders. Now understand, for the PNPs, they just need to use them. You may not be able to travel right now, but they just need to use their nominations or they can lose them. And so there will be a tremendous push, especially provinces like Ontario, provinces like British Columbia, where there's tons of applicants who were stalled out on work permits, waiting, wondering what was going to happen. And now they're all scooped out through the recent CEC Draw 176. And as we talk about this draw of all draws, this historic draw, wow, 27,332 with the lowest score of 75. That is unreal. So you outlanders, get your profiles in. I don't care if you have 300 points. Why don't I care? Because if your occupation is in the right range, Alberta is going to be looking. And if you happen to be 300 points with the right knock code, you could get a notification of interest in your portal to come to Alberta, come to my province, come home here. And many other provinces are going to be in the same situation. Do you understand? We don't know for sure what's going to happen, but one thing I can tell you going forward, there will be more draws. There will be federal skilled worker draws. There will be provincial nominee program draws. 27,000 ain't going to cut it. IRCC is not done yet. I will repeat, IRCC is not done yet. Okay, let's get back to some more questions here. These are great. Do you know what is the permanent residence confirmation portal? Do my wife and I have to use the portal separately? If you're inside Canada, you can land in two ways. One of my clients, both AINP, both PNP paper-based, one of them gets this email that says, surprise, congratulations, you're a permanent resident. It's done, over. He's like super stoked. The other client, actually it was more complicated for them, got an invitation in their email to come and register for the landing portal, to enter their information in and go through the electronic process to land. So that is what the confirmation portal is. It's a pilot program that the government has instituted where you have to provide your email address, log in, and yes, if you have dependents, even your dependent kids need their own email address. You enter the information in and then they land you electronically. That's the difference between the two. In Canada only. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I personally think confirmations of permanent residence, permanent resident visas, I personally think all of those things are going to go out the door. They're archaic. There's no need to have these things in passports anymore. The electronic scanning and barcoding can confirm what's there. You don't need an officer to look at your passport, read it, and see what the visa says. It can all be coded on the passport without any need of doing that. They do it right now for electronic travel authorizations, right? It's the technology is there. And after this pandemic, I think the government realizes that it's a whole lot cheaper and more efficient to do things electronically than to have staff physically taking passports, imprinting visas on them. And remember, I worked on the border as an immigration officer. I was the one stamping people coming from the US into Canada. And there's no need. We don't even use stamps anymore. This is coming, you guys. This is coming. All right, good question. Hey, we're talking about everything here. Click on the link below and join me in the class January the 22nd, Monday's class. It's better to do it as soon as possible so that you can learn what you need to do, what you need to know now. Whether you've got an invitation to apply or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to educate you. I'm going to empower you so that you can make the decisions you need to put yourself in the best position to get that invitation to apply. And when you get it, to ensure your EAPR is done right the first time. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to educate you. You're going to learn more about this than you ever, you're going to get questions answered that you didn't even know you should have asked, because someone else will ask it and you'll benefit from them. All right. Oh, excuse me. All right. Continuing on here. Okay. This one's a big one, and I guess it's good that I've got the whole screen here. Okay. I'm kind of peeking up over this one because it's a big one. Okay. This person's in my Express Entry Law private Facebook group. Head on over there. It's a great, safe place to share information. I don't get in there as much as I used to because it's just so massive that I just never seem to get my information before everyone. Although I am going to start paying a little bit more attention to it. It's 126,000 people, right? It's a massive group. I've dedicated myself now and my time to these step-by-step courses where I personally guide people all through it. Once again, click on the link, go watch the video, and then subscribe immediately. Here's my question. I'm creating an EE profile, very confused about what should I enter in my work history. I intend to claim points for my previous job, not the current one. Should I still enter both of them in the work history in my profile? If I do, and I put the previous job in my occupation subsection, would I need to collect documents for current job too? Any history, work history you put in there, you're only going to do it unless you're going to claim points for it. If you put work history in there, a section in your document checklist will open up for you to provide information. If you do not wish to claim points, your current work history here, then don't include it in your work history. Only include the work history that you want to get points for. The rest, make sure 100% part-time, casual, I don't care what it is, get it all in your personal history if it's within the last 10 years. All right. Next on the list, Divine says, good morning, sir. Good morning to you too. All right, we got Maxim here. He says, hey, Mark, will it make sense to intentionally decrease my... Oh, I love this one. No, I don't even have to go there, Maxim. That's stupid. That would be considered misrepresentation. I'll finish your question, though, because I've already seen this one circulating around. Some people are so smart, they think, oh, what if I just drop it down so that I can get a PNP nomination from Ontario because they're only giving nominations to people who are slightly below the top scores that are being granted. What has just happened here? Like this draw has gutted everything out. The OINP is going to be desperate for nominations. So that there where the strategy of dropping it down. So decrease my 470 score with another IELTS certificate, making it 467 to catch the OINP draw. Or is it better to wait for the FSW draw? My goodness, Maxim, play to your maximum. Maxim, go big. Do not monkey around trying to guess those things. No one can predict what's going to happen because of this massive draw. Anyone advising this strategy is an idiot. It is stupid. How are you going? You're going to try to game the system and try to target a lower score than you're actually entitled to? Like, you don't know what the OINP is going to do. They're going to want to pull out everybody they can. And if there's no FSW draws, well, do you think they have any baseline to judge where they're going to pull people from? What would stop them from pulling people at the very top of this score? If they know the Federal Skilled Worker Program isn't drawing anyone, What would stop them from pulling people, if they can get enough people from 780, well, maybe not 780, we'll say 480 to 500. Maybe because they know FSW isn't pulling any of them, that they're going to pull them, right? You just don't know. Maybe that's where the range is set. So no, I wouldn't advise that maxim, but I've seen that cuteness that's been, peddled around. Oh boy. Okay. Kaushik says, I keep saying applicants in Canada who applied after me are getting PRs. I also got my MP to submit an expedite request, but they are still not processing. All stages are passed for me and my wife as per GSMS notes and IRCC agent. Please help. Book a consult, Kaushik. Right here, book a consult, and we'll take a look. Okay. One of my colleagues forgot to mention, I love this, Ranjit. This is awesome. One of my colleagues forgot to mention in the PR application about a U.S. visitor visa refusal, and now it's been more than 2 months of AOR, so what he can do now, he applied in Canada when he was on study. He better be freaking out is what he better be doing. Freak out, sir, because when you complete your profile, and if you guys would just stop, take a second to read the attestation, the fine print before you click submit. Most of you don't even read it. You skim through it as if it's not important. Every single of my clients, every single one, when we do our collaborative review, I go through and explain it all to them. In fact, the government says that you attest, right? There's a section there that says, I attest that I have sought for and obtained clarification on every point that is unclear to me. Seriously, immigration, who the heck are they going to talk to? I guess it's me, so maybe I should be sending a bill to immigration because I'm doing their job of explaining this attestation that the client's signing off on. That's a different discussion. Canada has agreements with the UK, the United States of America, Australia, and New Zealand for complete sharing of immigration information. Your buddy here who didn't disclose a prior visitor visa refusal, IRCC will catch it. They will find him to have misrepresented in the worst case scenario. In the best case scenario, maybe they'll just send a background declaration form to him and then he can quickly beg for mercy and say, oh, I'm so sorry, please don't refuse. Like we've seen crazy stuff that had to go to the federal court because one person forgot only one of their 4 refusals. They disclosed 3, but they forgot the first one. And it had to be saved in federal court because it's stupid that it didn't even go that far. They use misrep as a sledgehammer to squash a fly. That's what misrep is. But they apply it judiciously, liberally. Actually, not judiciously. They apply it liberally. So anyone who's in that situation, my friend, had better make sure that they get that web form cracked open immediately. And they've got a response in there lightning fast saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to include my visa, to mention in my statutory information section that I had a prior US visa. I'm updating my file now as quickly as possible. Your colleague better get that done. If they want to know how to do it properly, because if you do it correctly, you can save it. Book a consult and we can sort it out with you. Okay. When is it going to be FSW draw? When the travel restrictions are lifted. Okay, here we go. This is fun. Fluvia says, I'm thinking that because you make application, anybody need research very well, all this information. My application delay 4 years and I'm tired. Oh my goodness. Feel my marriage and family because not so much information before you never know the future, in my opinion. I'm going to give you one of these. Okay. You need someone fighting for you. If you have a challenging situation, you need to have someone at your back fighting. 4 years is just insane, Flavia. It's absolutely insane. I don't know how anybody would get there. I'll tell you, I would be filing a mandamus application so fast. When you crossed over something, like you cross into 3 years, that is insane. 4 years, that is crazy. So crazy. All right, next up. I didn't get an OINP either because my score was too high. That is so unfair. Do not for a second think that what has just happened is going to be a precursor forever. Do not think that, oh, if I'm cute, because what are you going to do? Like, are you going to submit some fraudulent document? You're thinking about maybe writing the language test and then just kind of doing a poorer job on the writing to drop down to 6.5? Like, what's your strategy here? What's the end game? There are so many factors at play. Like, there are so many factors at play. No one can know for certain. And to take that approach is just super, super risky. Okay. Hello, Malik. Good to see you here. Okay. If you're asking about, do I qualify, Mark, I'm going to ring that bell and say, go book a consult, my friend. Okay. We've got New Delhi in the house. Great. Understand, you guys, as far as being a part of the plan, it is public health in Canada that is keeping you out. It is public health that is making these decisions. It is not the borders. It's not the border officers. It is public health that's driving the ship. The orders in council dictate. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, is the one making these calls. He is the one driving the ship. He is the face of everything that's happening in Canada right now. And so it is up to him whether or not you come or not. But do not for a second believe that you are unimportant and that immigration does not want you to be here. They do. If you go back and you watch, I've already showed you guys these levels planning. They have to meet 108,500 this year. They've nominated 27,332. And actually, do I have the full list? 36,708 this year. Even if they processed all of them, there were so few last year that came in. Those who came in last year and got their ITAs last year that were through CEC only, they're the only ones that are filling in the remainder of the quota here for this year. They're the only ones that's adding to the numbers. There were very few federal skilled workers, if any, that came in after March 18th. And so understand, this is astronomically high. It has never been this high before. And the following year, it's 110. And the year after that, I don't even know if I can find it here. Let's expand my window. You probably can't even see this. I can't move my browser to adjust it. But basically 113,750 is what's on there. Okay, good. You can just see it. It's like sliding right past my window here. Let's get it back into place. So understand, guys, that there is room. And it is not that they don't care about you. So I know how horrible it is. I see people who quit their jobs, who have their savings being depleted because they basically sold their home. They pulled their kids out of school. It was terrible. You know, and for you that are stuck, like, the government's plan is we have to keep you there. That's what their plan is until the borders open up, until Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister, you know, the most popular Prime Minister among immigrants in the history of Prime Ministers, he's the one making this decision. He's at the top. Public health gives him direction. They're the ones making these hard decisions. Theresa Pham, it's all, yeah, that's where it's coming from. Okay. Keep zooming here. Okay. Oh, man, I hate to even post this one. I don't even know if I want to post it. These ones here are the ones that just, like, you can't go back. You rarely get a second chance. All right, I'll post it. So here's Meseret. Hi, Mark. My FSW PR application got rejected for the wrong type of police certificate. The country I'm currently living in don't provide the required certificate. Do I have any hope in this case? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that when you submitted your application, if you'd gone through my course or you'd booked a consult or had us collaboratively review your application, this would not have happened. I don't know if I can help you. I don't think I can help you, Meseret. My heart goes out to you. None of these stupid YouTubers who have done it themselves and then are posting all this garbage online that lawyers are just scammers, or even consultants, you can do it without, you don't need them. I just wish that those idiots would come and sit in my office, come and sit with me tomorrow morning and watch 6 people do consultations with me that have problems these buggers have no clue how to resolve. When do you call a lawyer? When you've looked for all the other answers and you have nowhere else to turn, right? When do you use a consultant? Often when you feel like they speak your language or they're from your community, your ethnic background, and somehow they're more trustworthy. Maybe you feel that they're offering a rate that's lower than a lawyer. Whatever it is, there are a variety of reasons why you choose to do things. But please, anyone telling you it's so easy, you read the website, that's all you need to do, please, please tell them to take a hike. The step-by-step course with my masterclass added on, 2 weeks of me giving you every ounce of knowledge I can pour into you, empowering you. In that 2 weeks, you'll know more about people that have searched the internet for thousands of hours trying to find answers. I'm sorry, Misret. I feel awful for you. I feel absolutely awful. Okay. Toy baby. That's awesome. And I love that kid. What a cute kid. Let's see a little bigger image of this little kid. He is so cute. Let's see if we can expand this. I'm not sure if we can. Trying to figure this out. Push it back. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that little kid. My goodness, Hamad. That kid is so cute. That's one cute kid. Awesome. Okay, let's look at your question here, my friend. So you say, I have a Sierra score of 465 till May. Do I still have hope? You better believe it. You still do. The OINP, the AINP, they're trying to figure out what the heck has just happened. They're waiting to see what IRCC is going to do. If IRCC does another big CEC scoop, wow, the PNPs are going to be hurting. They're going to be reeling. They're going to be struggling more than they've ever struggled before to meet these quotas in a world where they have more applicants than they could possibly even nominate. Now, the whole ground is shifted. Their whole legs have been cut out from underneath them. Now they're trying to figure out, they're in their back boardrooms, you know, the heads, the program directors, all their staff, policy. They're trying to figure out, what the heck are we going to do? You know, what has IRCC just done to us? And I understand why IRCC did the decision that they made. In fact, myself, my fellow table officers within the National Immigration Section of the Canadian Bar Association, the minister specifically asked us in a meeting with him and his staff to provide recommendations on how they can convert as many temporary residents to permanent residents this year as possible. That was the request they extended to us. We dropped everything. We talked to our members within the Canadian Bar Association. We didn't even have time to vet this through the proper CBA channels. So the list that we put together wasn't even, it wasn't even immigration. It wasn't even CBA policy. It was just a collection of lawyers, us table officers, who put the list together, gave it to the minister as a recommendation. And I work with some pretty darn smart lawyers. I don't claim to be the most intelligent lawyer. There are ones that are so much more intelligent. They think of things that I just never think about, right? They have ideas and recommendations, and the list was awesome. Number 2 on the list was to drop the scores for the express entry rounds of invitations, to pull out more people, to do more CEC draws. That was number 2 on our list. It could have easily been number 1. The minister listened. I wish that it would have been something that was, that I could attribute to the Canadian Bar Association, but it wasn't. It was just some thoughts from us lawyers, because the response and the need for us to respond was immediate. There was no time to go through the formal challenges of the Canadian Bar, the formal processes to get things properly vetted. And that just happens. But the minister listened to us, and that's what happened. Who would have imagined that he would have done what he did, though? This is crazy. So like I said, PNPs now are reeling. 465 could hit it for you. The Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program could say, Hamad, you've got work experience that we want now. We're going to extend a notification to you. So yes, you still have hope. All right. Amit, nice to see you live after so long. Good to have you back here. Naomi, how to apply. Ring the bell. That means if you want to know what to do, you have 2 choices. You can book a consult. We can go through everything, assess your eligibility. in 25 minutes, I can tell you whether you've got a chance or not. You don't need to spend, 10, 15 hours searching everywhere to try to figure out what works and what doesn't. Or option 2 is subscribe to my course, the step-by-step comprehensive course on doing your immigration application yourself through Express Entry. You go literally from not knowing what to do to knowing exactly what to do. From making costly mistakes to making no mistakes and realizing your dream of immigrating to Canada. That's what I'm selling. All right. Let's see who else we've got here. No way, Sid. Sid. Big. I don't even know what to do here. What do I have for Sid? Do I've got like some crazy music? Let's see. What is here? Let's see. Nope. No, not that one. No, not Hawaii.
The Canadian immigrant.
No, not that one. Not that one. Oh man, I thought I had something good. Okay. Let's roll with that one. Oh yeah. Let's give you some snow, Sid. This guy. Sid, are you literally right around the corner from me? This is crazy. Oh, if these social distancing wasn't the way it is, man, we'd be over at the Tim Hortons down the street. That's where we would be. So cool. All over the world. I've got people all over the world literally tuning in, and right down my street, Mr. Sid. That is so cool. Hopefully it doesn't snow, man. Hopefully it doesn't snow. That is so cool. That is awesome. You just made the whole thing. I swear, you truly did. That was so cool. Woo! Yes. Sid. Nice. Okay, let's see here. Amit. He says, thanks for posting my testimonial on your site. I again vouch for folks to take the course. I'm sure the new course is much, much better. Amit, you are a rock star, my friend. You are a rock star. All right, take a look at this, guys. All right, you're here, Amit. What better social proofing do you have? Look at right here. Guess who we have right here on the left? Top left corner in the house. There we go. That is so cool. Amit, you rule. You are my hero, man. The course is unbelievable. It is like on steroids, literally. And when I'm able to step in, Amit, and do this, did I share my screen? I don't even know if I shared my screen. I'm talking here. There we go. Top left corner, right on the page. You go to it. He's right there. Like, and this is super recent too, Amit. We got you in here. His testimonial was awesome. Fantastic. He's the one guy amongst the ladies here, but I had to pull you in, my friend. So cool. Get over here, you guys, right here. Look at, there's 2 days, 10 hours, 11 minutes, 10 minutes, 57 seconds to log in, register before the next class starts. After it is, everything shuts down until the cart opens up again when I do the next course. The only reason that I chose to do one right now, you guys, was because of this crazy 27,332 draw. I need an opportunity to have a breather, a break, because it just takes so much out of me to do these courses, because I'm literally answering every single person's question possible. No one goes without their question answered. And that's why, if you look down here, that's why old Amro says, I ran out of questions. He ran out of questions. And I can tell you, Amro was the most unbelievable dude in the history of the planet. The questions he came up with were like crazy, like totally left field. And the other people who were in there, if they could attest if they're watching this live. Amro was hilarious, man. But oh, Amit, that is so cool. 2 rock stars. We've got Sid here in the house, literally. If we didn't have a pandemic, man, you'd be coming over to my house. And I'd be sharing my favorite drink with you, which is cranberry ginger ale, little Canada Dry, little cranberry. I'm not a drinker, so those of you who like to have the, the harder stuff, I'm a soft guy. But man, Sid, you'd be coming over. All right, Amit, you're a rock star. Thank you. What better social proofing do you have? I wish I could just scream on the housetops, how this course can help people. Okay, let's see what this Sid has to say. Oh no, Sid, wait a minute. Sid, how in the world do you have a lawyer? What is going on here? How do you have a lawyer and you're in my city and you're not even using me? What is going on, dude? Oh, I probably know who your lawyer is unless you're going to some other city. This is crazy. My lawyer is not sharing details with me regarding my profile. AOR on December 18th. Medical passed on January the 21st. Bio done on the 25th of January. Biometrics. How can I check my application details? Don't have access of GC key. Who's your lawyer? Who's your lawyer? Are they in town? Freak, I'll rage on them. I know all the lawyers here. That's not acceptable that they're not giving you details. Well, if you want to screw them, you can do that. So what do? I'll take you. I'll show you exactly what you do, Sid. I did this on purpose just because of this situation, because I knew so many people would be stuck in this crazy world where they're trapped with a representative that they don't trust or that's driving them crazy. Hey, look at me. There I'm live now. Okay. So literally, I just did a video on this topic. It's this lovely black one right here. How to fire your consultant or your lawyer and get your express entry profile back. Watch that video and it will explain it to you. All right. Watch the video. Awesome. All right. There you go. Man, Sid, how in the world did you end up hiring someone else other than me? That's crazy. All right. Moving on. When can we see the next CEC draw? Maybe the IRCC will take a break. I don't think so. I don't think so, my friend. All right. We got Doot here. Is it mandatory to have spouse name on a passport, or we can present marriage certificate as a proof? You don't need your spouse on your passport. A marriage certificate would be just fine. Okay. Mayhawk Deep Core says, would there be a CEC draw next week, or can it take a month as people are talking? I think personally, and here's the only reason why I feel they may not do a draw this coming, well, it's not going to be this week. They're not going to do one massive one like this and then the very next week do another one. If anything, it would be 2 weeks out. Okay. But here's the thing that I want you to understand. And I guess technically, if you're going by Wednesday to Wednesday, possibly, I guess it would be a shortened week. But you guys have seen what's happening. Everybody's like crying online, like just in horrible, dire situation because they're having trouble accessing the portal. The portal has been overrun. It was actually shut down after they announced that massive extent, those ITAs. Even the officers themselves couldn't access the portal. The system was never designed to handle the volume that it is right now. When it was created, boy, they were working on this sucker back in 2003. That's how old it is, okay? 2003, when I was working as a pro bono student with the hearings officers in Calgary, I remember one of my favorite hearings officers, she's just so awesome, Kathy King in Calgary. She was working on, providing direction and advice with the creation of the GCMS system. Well, that sucker is archaic, and they're working on trying to create a replacement. They're actively working on it. One that can handle all of this, one that doesn't have stupid checklists and smart checklists in the express entry process. You guys know what I'm talking about that purchased the course. The stupid versus the smart checklist. Oh, it's so frustrating. But they're working on buoying up and trying to pull the data out of the GCMS system and store it externally. It's like your computer, right? It's like your computer, your hard drive is maxed out. I just had to upgrade my Mac here. I didn't replace my Mac. I got a friend who was able to swap out and put a new operating system in it, new hard drive. Anyways, the government's computer is like running at 95%. And it's constantly maxing out, timing out, sluggish. That's the problem. So they're trying to pull out all of the data out of the hard drive essentially so that it can operate a little bit more freely as a patch until the new one is ready. All right, there we go. That's my thoughts. This is kind of fun tonight, isn't it? We've got quite a few people turning in. I see we've got about 165 that are watching live. 10:55 p.m. My goodness, I better go to bed. Fortunately, I can sleep in tomorrow a little bit if I want to. Haha. So those of you who are in India, just about you're closing in on what, just about 11:30. So this is a good time for you. Why not? We'll just keep going. See, this is the fun part of this whole channel is I can talk and do whatever I want. I can say what I want. And at the end of the day, if I want to share every ounce of knowledge, information that I have with you, I can do it. No one's stopping me. It's my channel. I can be as helpful. And I want you guys to like this bloody video or whatever you do, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell so you receive a notification when I go live in the future. Go do that on YouTube. Facebook, like, right? And Facebook has its own version of getting notifications, right? Maybe there's a bell on that one too. I don't know. I just make content, you guys. I just make content. And then I have awesome people like Igor who helps me to set up, you know, cool little thumbnails now. You can see what happens when I've got Igor, right? He's awesome. And we hired this company from the Ukraine who helped us to do the branding for the Canadian Immigration Institute. I love it. They're great. Props to them. And then I can just have fun. I use Canva and do the transparent background and get some goofy look on my face because apparently that's what causes you guys to click and actually watch this stuff. But how do you tell people that what's in here is invaluable? I have to create a bunch of small videos now, apparently. That's what YouTube wants, so that I can get the most massive reach possible. Share this, like it, tell the world, holy crap, this immigration lawyer is like light years ahead of all these other massive channels, especially you Indians, you guys that are coming from India, Pakistan, who are like in love with these guys who offer zero substantive knowledge and everything else is just fine little social environment. Enjoy them for the fun and, you know, their thoughts. But this is where you really get the goods. Come here, like, share, subscribe, whatever. My goodness, it's so goofy that I even have to say that. Wonder if this one works. No, it doesn't work anymore. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, that one works. My old Book a Consult one works. That's awesome. Okay, go away. I've got a bunch of different things here that, yeah. I'll tell you one thing too, guys. In the course, like the first one that we did, it ended today. And there were some awesome, awesome people that were contributing, helping one another. So when people engage, I chose my 3 top contributors to the group and I gave them this. So they each will get a $25 Amazon or whatever works in their country equivalent, a little gift card just for being so awesome. So we did that today. That was really fun. And that was as a thank you at the end. So anyways, all right. Okay, let's see what else we got here. My file is good and simple. Is your express entry price for couple negotiable? I'm going to give you a big shout out right here for for coming on Periscope, Raj. That is awesome. I love when I get people on Periscope. Okay, is your price for couple negotiable? Hell no, it's not. Seriously. The price includes a couple and you get me, dude. I'm not pushing this down to some low-level staff member. Like when you retain the firm, you get a lawyer. You get the immigration lawyer who's working directly with you. You could get me. You know, that's a possibility. You could get Alicia. You could get Susan. And I just interviewed another awesome lawyer today, and we're going to take over the world. So cool. All right, Raj, connect, book a consult, and let's talk. You guys are awesome. You are so hilarious. Okay, I will suggestions you, whatever that is. Okay, okay, what does Debbie says here? Hi, Mark, I want to avail your services, and I'm at post-EAPR, AOR stage. What will be your charges? Go right here. There's a link below that will take you right here where you can go and book a consult, and you will see right here on the consult section, our fees that we charge are laid out here clear as day. 25 minutes, 3:15, 50 minutes, 6:30 with yours truly. I am slammed next week, but I'm going to open up some more spots just because the demand right now is so high. Alicia, exceptional. Awesome. Go watch The Last Immigration Nation. If I flip over here to the YouTube channel, you will see Alicia and I right here. We did special episode on Draw 176, and you will see how smart Alicia is. Go watch that episode of Immigration Nation. And I just brought her on because she's smarter than I am. She is so smart. She is awesome. And it's the only reason that I have my rate at 315, which is basically 300 plus GST, and hers is 210, is because you guys believe that I'm the only one that can help you. And yes, in our firm, we do things differently. And yes, I'm leading the charge and I'm the express entry dude. But Alicia is exceptional. She is so good. And Susan is no slouch. She's awesome too. You can see the areas that they handle. I focus right into express entry and the P&Ps and corporate immigration because I have to. Otherwise, I can never do this. Who in their right mind is going to be staying up all night doing videos like this? All right. So Devi, go book a consult. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to help you. If you're after filing your application and you're just kind of stalled out, we can help you to figure out what's going on. Okay. Himanshu says, hello, Mark. It seems joining the masterclass for submission of an EAPR is a good option than hiring a consultant. Understand, you guys, I've taken a lot of flack. And if you look at the YouTube channel, there's a couple stupid consultants that are freaking idiots that are always putting thumbs down, thumbs down. Like, how stupid and idiotic. My personal favorite is when they gave a thumbs down to the podcast episode that I did with windmill microlending. This shows the mentality of these people that are just, I don't know if they're just jealous or they're just stupid, but take a look at this. This is my personal favorite. So on the YouTube channel, if you go to my playlists, one of the playlists is the Canadian Immigration Podcast. So now, instead of just producing just the video, I actually also, if I go to the playlist here, I now produce an actual video component to the podcast, so you can watch the Canadian Immigration. I'll pause that. And so you can see right here, I'll just advance the screen right here to Windmill Microlending with Paula Calderon. She is so awesome. What does Windmill do? Windmill gives microloans. And look, at only 191 people have seen this. You guys get over here and watch it. If you're in Canada or you're planning on going to Canada, get over here and watch this. Maybe I can expand it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Paula and Windmill Microlending offer low interest microloans of up to $15,000 to new immigrants to get certification in Canada that maybe they couldn't otherwise afford if they're trying to get their nursing certification or one of the regulated trades or whatever it is. They offer up to $15,000 to do it. If you qualify to get a microloan with super low interest rates, all designed to help lift you out of this glass ceiling into the next level. So you're actually working in an occupation that's commensurate with how awesome you are. And these idiots, like, look at this. I have a thumbs down on here. Like, I would love to know who that is because, my goodness, like, how ridiculous. It's one thing if you don't like me slamming consultants because the regulator does absolutely squat to protect the public. Yes, go figure it out. Where are you at now, right? I don't hate consultants, okay? I don't. Well, let me see. I don't hate all consultants, okay? There are some that are crooked, conniving, just conspiring, and they exploit people, and that's fine. There are those people in all industries. There are lawyers that are like that. But the Law Society, if they see someone doing that, my goodness, they get disbarred. With the consultant regulator, well, good luck. I'd like to see what a person can do if they feel like their consultant overcharged them and just offered them horrible service and screwed up their express entry application. What are they going to do for you? Squat. Nothing. What happens if you do that and the lawyer's found to be negligent? Well, I can tell you there's compensation coming your way. And guess where that compensation is coming out of? It's coming out of my pocket. So I have an invested interest with my professional liability insurance to to make sure that every single useless immigration lawyer who is negligent, who doesn't properly represent their clients, that they are freaking disbarred. But on the consultant side, there are so many that operate out there that there's no teeth. Finally, after so long of a consultant here in Lethbridge exploiting Filipinos with a separate business that she owned, making them work longer hours and then only paying them from basically 8 to 5. So having a second set of books, my goodness, it took finally someone coming forward who created a real rift in the Filipino community, but just a wonderfully brave woman to say, yeah, she's been employing me illegally, full out, without a work permit, working, paying under the table for years. And this is a regulated immigration consultant. So I'm hoping that the Consultant Association acts on this one, because I'm bringing it up. I'm telling the world. I'm hoping that they do, because she literally laughed and said, oh, what's my liability? $64,000. That's nothing, because she's already made so much money off the backs of those workers. And it's unfair to all the other businesses that were competing with her when she was using, underpaid labor. Anyways, I'm going to stop complaining. And you guys are probably thinking, Mark, what the heck are you talking about here? Fair enough. So there are good consultants out there is what I'm getting at. There are really good consultants, and there are a massive number of ones that really should never be practicing as consultants. I'll leave it at that. Good luck, regulator. I hope you get it sorted out. Queens, I hope you get the courses sorted out, but I'd like to see how many people are actually going to take the Queens course, because ultimately, I know registration is opening up for it to become a consultant, but the standards are actually high now. The standards are high. And will CAPIC and those other organizations, will they grandparent everybody in so that they don't have to take the course? Yeah, probably. Probably. They'll just perpetuate it because they've been pumping people through like crazy amounts of people through the various consulting or training schools to bolster their numbers and just bring in more people paying dues. Anyways, I'll leave that for another discussion too. And someone's probably going to complain to Dory about me saying this, but I don't care. It's the truth. Like, get it figured out. All right. And once again, I do not hate all consultants. In fact, I had 3 in my course, and I'm willing to teach any consultant that wants to learn. Anyone who wants to know how to be a better practitioner of express entry, come join the course. I can guarantee it will blow your mind. And in fact, some of my testimonials have come from immigration consultants. So I don't hate all of you. I just hate the ones that have no business, have no ethics, have no morals, that screw over people nonstop. If a lawyer does that, any consultant who's now whining and complaining about me bad-mouthing consultants, if a lawyer does that, I report them to the Law Society, and they have a very serious chance of losing their license, let alone being suspended. Anyways, okay, I'm sorry. I got carried away. Does the course, is it awesome? Even if you have a consultant, take it. And then see how much knowledge you have compared with the consultant that's representing you. Heck, compare it to the lawyer who's representing you, and then see whether or not my course is actually worthwhile. All right. Jagmeet, you're welcome, my friend. Fahim from Bangladesh, hello. Oh, here we go. Is the owner-operator have to work his own business even after she arrived at Canada and applied for PR? Of course you do. Like after you apply for PR, like understand the whole nature of what you're doing. The whole reason they granted you the owner-operator work permit was for you to work and build up that business. And here's the problem that I have. Because of, I'm not going to pigeonhole, I'm not going to generalize. Because of stupid representatives who exploited and abused the owner-operator program, now, as of April, ESDC is shutting it down. One of my favorite programs to use for people who are starting new businesses, who are buying in to get a work permit as an owner-operator. Because of the fraud, because of the stupidity of stupid representatives that were greedy, they have now closed that program. The whole temporary foreign worker program, because of greed and just crookedness and unethical behavior. Freak, if your country believes in bribes and cheating and getting ahead of people just by pushing them down and exploiting them, well, I don't want you in my country. Go home. If you have ethical values, if you believe in the rule of law, if you believe in treating people freely, come to my country. But if you become a consultant and you're a crooked scoundrel, go home. If you're a lawyer who acts like that, I hope you get disbarred. All right, it's late. That's what happens. I just have no filter. All right. Okay, let's see what else we have here. I'm working through the questions. Why not? Let's keep pounding through them. All right. Okay, this one here. Please don't do this, my friend. Don't do this. This is a classic example of what I don't want people to do right here, okay? I do not want people to reach out to Sati here to contact this person on WhatsApp and I will suggestions you. Freak dude, this is like the most uncool thing. And anyone who comes on, I'm assuming you're either an agent or a consultant, but it's really bad when you post, I will suggestions you. Why in the world would anyone trust you when you cannot even write English properly? And aside from that, it's not cool to come on someone's immigration Q&A on their YouTube and start mining for work. Not cool. So Sati here, no one contact him. And maybe what you could do is if there's a WhatsApp group associated with this fellow, you could tell them that he's pretty lame. So I'm in one of these moods and those kinds of things really irritate me. Okay. Okay. Lewis says, hello, Mark. Why international students can enter and get approved? COPER holders cannot. Was there a medical study concluding that international students don't contract COVID? Lewis, good question. I do not make that policy. But I'll tell you, one of the main reasons is because all of the Canadian schools are tremendously powerful in lobbying. International students bring in billions of dollars to our country every year. They are a significant driver of new cash into our economy. They don't pull anything else out, right? They don't pull anything out. They bring in billions of dollars to the economy. That's just straight cash, okay? They keep many of the universities afloat. They create jobs for people who are at those schools. And so one of the driving reasons is that international students in any given year will bring in billions of dollars compared to permanent residents who come, who simply, they don't bring in that much money initially. It's one factor that they look at. But you don't have a bunch of businesses, a massively powerful conglomerate that are lobbying the government, and understand things are political too, right? There's votes involved here. And you, as an individual COPER holder, do not have a lobbying group or have any position or standing when it comes to getting ahead of some other cohort of individuals like international students who have universities and colleges and professors who are all lobbying, who are Canadian citizens and permanent residents who vote, right? Who elect the politicians. And so is there a clear answer? That's the best one that I can give you, right? It has nothing to do with students don't contracting COVID, of course, Lewis, which I know you're tongue in cheek and I know you're upset, but that's the reality of it. It's just about 12 a.m. here in Calgary. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Okay, I'll try to skip past. Don't duplicate your question. I'm going through everyone's today. And once again, I'm going to flip back and plug the heck out of my course again, because this course, you guys, literally can make the difference for you. Go click on the link, this step-by-step course, watch the video. I actually show you inside what's in there. 56 individual lessons with accompanying videos, instructions, links, templates, tools, checklists, sample documents, a whole module full of every single document that you submit to Express Entry. There is a video pouring every ounce of knowledge I have into teaching you exactly what you need to do. And most importantly, what you do when things are not working out, what you do if you can't get a reference letter, what you do if you can't get proof of funds. That's in there. And on top of all those videos, you can go right down here to the bottom, read these ones that were I literally put those on today. You were right. This is the best education I've ever taken in Express Entry. And guess what Yildiz is? Yildiz is an immigration consultant. She's awesome. She didn't feel confident with Express Entry. She came in, she took the course, she's got access to this, and she is going to be 100 times better representing her clients. Congratulations and thank you for your hard work, Yildiz. It was a pleasure. If you know her, if you see her, you know you can trust her because she came through my course. Thesura, same thing. He says here, this was the best $347 I ever spent for sure. And what do you know? We got two more thumbs up on that one alone. We've got Shelly is over in BC. Actually, I have a consult with her next week because not only was the course there, but she realized she had some issues that were just so complicated. We've got to sort through them separately. You know, she's just, yeah, thank you everyone for providing great tips and answers to so many difficult issues. This type of learning is unmatched. Thank you. And then Amro, who ran out of questions. All right. So go here. It is closing. You've got 2 days, 9 hours, 43 minutes left. And don't listen to me. Even in our group, you guys just saw my good friend right here, top left corner, right? He came on and this is his testimonial that he gave. Whatever. You guys can decide what you want to do. You know what? The reality is with all of this Express Entry, the simplest mistake, the simplest mistake can result in your application getting returned. 27,332 invitations, all submitting their application. You've got Sally, immigration officer, in her home, crunched in a little corner, away from her family, protecting the confidential information, looking at a tiny little screen, and she has quotas to meet. She's pumping them out. She's doing the best she can. She's stressed. She's tired. She's worried about her kids. She's worried about her husband, you know, and she's sitting there processing your application, and all she wants to do is to get through as many as she can. She gets to yours, and you've made that one little mistake. Boom. Ha, I'm out, done. This one's refused, on to the next one. The next one she gets, wait a minute. What is going on here? This is totally organized. Look at these letters of explanation. Hey, I've seen this template before. This letter of explanation looks like the format is very similar to this person over here. I like this. I can understand it. It's easy for me to scroll through. Everything's easy to match. Approved. That was the easiest one I did all day. On to the next one. That's what you guys are facing. And so any haters out there who say it's not worth it, fine. Go ahead. Make the mistake. All right, moving on. Okay, let's see here. Jijo here. Wife software tester. Her job system. Will she come under NOC 2173? I ring the bell. I say, Jiju, go and subscribe. There is a NOC selection tool that I've created to help you actually figure out not only whether or not 2173 is the right one, but it also gives you a nice little chart that you're going to copy and you're going to paste right into the letter of explanation that I also teach you exactly how to set up. And that officer's going to say, wow, yep, 2173, that person just structured things exactly as I would. And I can see exactly why 2173 is the right one. So Jiju, you figure it out. And like I said to all of you guys, don't purchase the course. I do care. I'm not going to say I don't care, but go ahead, make the mistake, see where it leaves you. All right, moving on. Goldwater says, I've submitted my profile to Express Entry Pool under FSW, score 471. All right, I'll give you an applause. You know, based on what happens here going forward, that may very well be high enough to get drawn through the regular Express Entry stream, depending on how many people are pumping through here. Okay, we've got some doubling up of questions. Oh yeah, let's pull this off. Let's put them up here. Okay, here we go. Actually, we'll pull this up and I'll raise this up just a little bit so we can fit underneath here. Ian Moss, hi Mark. We are Feb 13ers. Yes, in the house. Mixed up some of our NOC codes. Okay. This is what I do, right? People only contact me to book consults or to choose to take the course if they run into problems, right? ones that you know about. The problem that I have is the people who just merrily go on their way and they don't even know what they don't know. All right, so I'm up here, Ian. Let's see what you got. Feb 13ers, congratulations. We mixed up some of our knock code. Yep, we will have to change it. It will reduce our foreign worker points, but we're still above the minimum points of 75. Is it going to be a problem? Ian, I don't know. If you do it correctly, you can actually make it through. You can. When done correctly, you can make changes to your knock before you submit your EAPR. And many of you Feb 13ers, this is a gift from heaven. And you have one shot at this. If you do it correctly, then you have the ability to save that precious ITA. But you've got to do it that way. All right. So short answer is it may be a problem. You might be able to get by. But congratulations, my friend. I don't think I have the congratulations anymore. Nope, I don't. I had a congratulations, but I got rid of that overlay. I'll be honest, I didn't even think that... Oh, poor Sati, still doing this, man. Okay, you guys know what I said about Sati here. Yeah, I'll post him. So, here's the question for Sati. No one use him. No one use him. Not authorized by Mark. I have no clue. He hardly even spells English properly. And Sati, you exposed yourself, man. You post comments on my page. I'm going to point things out to people. All right? And I don't have any remorse for it. Not cool, dude. Okay. That's awesome. That is hilarious. Look at that handle there. Diary of Basement Kids. Hey, Mark, I received an ITA under the FSW. Self-employed work experience. Yep, you can do that under the FSW, but it's dang hard to prove. Last December 23rd, my husband also received an ITA last CEC Big Draw. Which one would be easier application? Okay, first, subscribe to the course. Come in, join me. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to tell you. But clearly, if your husband has got that CEC and he's got good solid work reference letters and all of, because I'm going to qualify everything, right? I don't know your whole situation here. But generally speaking, it is a whole lot easier to prove Canadian experience class, Canadian education than it is to try to prove self-employed work experience through the Federal Skilled Worker Program. I have tons of consults, tons of them, literally, and they are often focused with people trying to claim freelance work experience abroad. And it is not easy. Do I have tools? Yes, I do. I have resources. I have suggestions, things that can help. But when it comes to self-employed work experience, oh yeah, if I had a choice between that and a CEC, your hubby wins, hands down. Okay, click on the link and subscribe. I'd love to see you in there and see what your name actually is. But your handle is awesome. Diary of Basement Kids. It's kind of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid play off. My kids, they love that show. That was awesome. All right. I don't know how long I'm going to go here. Like, clearly this is crazy. And, YouTube's going to say, Mark, you're insane. This is an hour and 50 minutes long. We're not going to promote it. So to heck with YouTube. Like, subscribe, tell everybody else, subscribe to Mark's channel because he actually deserves the promotion. This information he's sharing is off the charts. Okay, one of my colleagues forgot to mention, yep, we got through that one. That's a double whammy. You guys duplicators. Okay, all right, let's see. Okay, this is an interesting one. What's the difference between original entry date and date of last time entered? Well, that's pretty easy. The original entry date is when you first came into Canada for the first time. The date of last time entered is when you left after that first entry date and the last time you returned back to Canada. So that's the difference. I guess you're applying for a temporary application. That's the question on the work permit forms or the visitor forms. Well, it's an in-Canada extension form is what it is. Okay. Okay, Miriam says, while applying for a study permit, does a previous US and Canada visitor visa refusal cause any problems in getting the study permit? Absolutely, Miriam, it will. It will have a significant likelihood of getting another refusal. So once again, when you're doing or you're tackling this issue, it requires an unbelievable amount of work to even give yourself a shot. Getting the GCMS notes, trying to figure out what the real reasons were for the previous refusal, but you've got 2 visitor refusals, it will absolutely have a significant effect on your ability to get a study permit. It's not determinative, but it could have. Okay, let's see. Pankaj says, let's see. Hi, Mark. Thanks for your consult last year. Okay, great. I remember you, Pankaj. I'm waiting for my PR now. That's exciting. Great. Oh, Pankaj, I want to show you something that is so cool. Igor thought this one up. Igor's he's a rocket scientist, that kid. He is so smart. I want to show you guys something. This is so cool. I'm going to pull it up and then I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm going to go to my groups on Facebook and then I'm going to show you guys something. That little whippersnapper, Igor, I think the world of that kid. He's going to go some places. Check this out. I'm going to flip my screen over. Look at what we created. So we thought, man, this is so cool having, all these clients. We just hate seeing them go. Like, we love to stay in contact, and so many of them have so many things in common. So we just created this. It's a private Facebook group for our clients that come through. So often lots of them come through and they do the collaborative review and then they carry forward on their own, but they now have a place to go, our clients community. And so they come in here after they use our services and, they're just waiting, and it's another place for them to communicate. And they've all been through what we offer, and they've all got that in common, and one other group of family that we're creating. We just love creating these communities. This is what it's all about, families. And so big shout out to Igor. This was his brilliant idea of a private Facebook group. We haven't even started. Igor and I are the only first 2. We're just going to give it, and it's optional. If our clients want to join it, it's available for them. But one other idea that we think is fantastic, and it's all about making this experience unbelievable. Okay, let's get to the question now. I think I'm drying out here. Maybe I should go get a drink and come back. We're going so strong here. My brother arrived this year as an international student. Due to COVID, his classes are all online. Would his study still get CRS points and experience? Yes. So if you are, let me just say, you're in Canada, right? And if the school is online, boy, now you're really stumping me, Pankaj. So would his study still get CRS points and experience? Okay. One of the things that we do know is that if the candidate is outside Canada and they have taken like more than 50% of the course online, immigration has told us, no, they cannot get Canadian study experience for the purposes of express entry. Your brother will absolutely get all of credit that he needs to get his post-grad work permit. But the CRS points, if you're in Canada studying online, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. There may be an answer for that. And Pankaj, just send me an email and we'll see if we can kind of sort that out for your brother here. But that's a great question. I'm not sure if you're in Canada, if you can study entirely online. I'm thinking that you may not be able to get full credit, but maybe you can. That's one where you got me stumped. Good for you, man. You got me stumped. Okay. All right, let's see what we've got here next. Okay, this one, once again, we've got a big one here. I'm just creeping up over the top. Okay, would you recommend people with a soon to expire postgrad work permit apply for a bridging open work permit or try to get the COVID? You asked this question before and I answered it before. This is the second time I've answered it. I believe that I go with the bridging open work permit. I do. The other one's a pilot. I don't know what's going to happen to it. You can get that extra 18 months, but a bridging open work permit, technically you could get another one extended if you wanted to. So I just go with the bridging open work permit because it's super simple, straightforward. And yes, they're both under an implied status. Ultimately, it doesn't really make a difference, but that's my call. Okay, let's see here. That's a tough one, Nuri. Is there a way to apply for a bridging open work permit with an expired passport? Thank you. Well, the short answer is yeah, you just apply for it. And then you better have a backup plan as soon as you can to update your application with that new passport as soon as it's arrived. So yes, you can submit the application. You better make darn sure that you're explaining the reason you don't have it is because of COVID-related issues. That's the key language. If you don't mention that you don't have it because of difficulty getting it because of COVID, they have the ability to kick it back. If not, and you really anchor to the fact that it's COVID related, then that can save your application. But you have to get the passport and you have to update it. My goodness, this person, once again, I'm just going to keep posting it. If he thinks he's going to come on here, please, whatever you do, guys, don't ever use his services ever. Like, this is a classic example. He doesn't even have his face on here. That's what's so sad about this. You know, maybe we could try to Google him and see if he's got an IRCC number, which would be really embarrassing. But I suspect he's probably just someone who's just trying to mine for work. So awesome. Yeah, and Pankaj, thanks for the question. Boy, you guys stumped me that time. I'll figure it out though. This is awesome. I will suggestions you. That is so cool. Noemi, that's very, very funny. I love that. That is so good. Okay. Well, you know what? I guess you guys could also spam Sati. Just everybody like send him a whole bunch of messages. That's possible. Okay. Can a person or separate create a profile under CEC without Canadian work experience? Nope, you can't. You need Canadian work experience. You have to have at least 1 year wait a minute. You guys are going to stump me now. Yeah, I think you still need 1 year. I think oh my goodness, it's so late. Pretty sure you need, okay, you got me. Let's go take a look here if there's an exception to this. Okay, let's open up a new page here. Let's go CEC eligibility and let's look for ourselves. All right, we got all the time in the world here. Let's double check the eligibility together, and we'll just go to the government site. I won't pull up the regs this time because this is a pretty simple answer. Minimum requirements. Meet the language level. Okay, so you need at least, okay, it looks to me like you do. So you must have at least a CLB 5 essentially if it's a skill level B, and a CLB 7 for a NOC A or higher. So then you have to have at least 1 year of skilled experience in the last 3 years. You can meet it in a bunch of ways and gain your work experience while under temporary status with authorized work. Okay, how we calculate it. You're not eligible if you're a refugee, illegal work, you didn't have status. What this one means essentially is that maybe you're working for a Canadian company, right? But you're not in Canada. And so you don't have temporary status in Canada, so you can't claim it. Managerial. Okay, yeah, you can't do it while you're a full-time student. You can't count the work experience. There are no education requirements for CEC. See, guys, that's how you get 75 points in part. Okay, if you want to improve rank, you can do that. Get points. Language ability, like we talked about, 7 for 0, 5 for Bs. Reading, writing, great. Admissibility. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'm not losing my mind, even though I thought I was for a minute there. So the answer is no, you can't apply without having at least 1 year. And you know what? I think sometimes I just get overwhelmed and there's so many things going through your head, right? How do you just answer question after question after question after question, right? They're coming out of left field. All of these things are just flying. So, you know, I'm not always perfect in my answers, but I sure try. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is another one. Okay, let's see what Xavier says. My visa application was refused twice in 2020 because of IRCC messed up my files, and I have proof of that. I am without status since last September. Do you think those refusals will affect a PR application? The refusals don't of themselves affect a PR application, but Xavier, I'm going to ring the bell, man. Like, you need to reach out and book a consult so we can sort through this. Being out of status since September is not good. Like, there's issues with that, but I'm an immigration lawyer, right? People call me when things go south. They often don't call me when times are good. That's why I'm plugging the heck out of my course. Take it, avoid the problems. Do not be in a situation where you make a mistake that you had no clue in the world was a mistake in the first place. That's what I'm trying to correct. So go to the site, go right here, click on the link. It will take you here to the Express Entry step-by-step course. literally the quickest and easiest and safest way to filing your own express entry application. And when it comes down to getting things together, if you're a DIYer, you can spend literally hundreds of hours searching for information on the internet, and you can't trust it. You're always doubting, you're always questioning, right? This course, like 56 individual lessons, a chock full of them, all devoted specifically to the documents, which are really one of the main problem areas. And all of that, $347 US. And on top, why is it US? Because it's a US based company and it just works better that way. But on top of it, you get me for 10 days, Monday to Friday. Technically it's 2 weeks. Really, it's about 12 days, I guess. But those 10 days, 1 hour long Q&A with only in a private group for the members that are there. You have access to everything for life. The in-person stuff, yeah, I have to cap it. So I stretch it over 2 weeks. But when it comes to all the material, all the videos in that private group, your ability to stay in that group, it's exclusive to the cohort that's starting on Monday, February the 22nd. It goes to, I think, March the 5th. And it is so much fun. It is so much fun. When you come out of there, you literally have lifelong friends. You have people that you make connections with, you help each other. And the cool thing for me is when I teach you guys and I pour all of the knowledge into you, I empower you. I give you the tools that you need to truly make sure your application is as strong as it is. Templates, checklists, examples. There's like over 30 sample documents alone for reference letters. So go here, click on register now. You can see how much time is left. Once we hit the time for the class to start, this closes and you cannot access it. And I take the first 250 people that are in, and the way I structure it, it is just like, it's like this one big massive family. It is so cool. And really, it's not super massive. When you look right here, we've got 142 people attending right now live, which is insane. There's 142 people watching this live, and I've been going 2 hours long. YouTube's not telling anybody about this anymore because it's way too long, apparently. I guess they don't like, long videos. Well, that's fine. For those of you who are watching it live, that's why I'm doing it. Okay. Noor, you're very welcome, my friend. I'm glad that these were helpful for you. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see here. Christine says, hey, Mark, is the self-employed program included in your videos? My husband is a coach, and we wish to understand that path more. Thanks in advance. I am working with, well, let's see, what do I have for self-employed? So it's not in the program. You don't want to do self-employed with the program, because if you look at the document checklist for what's required, it has hardly anything in there that goes to the very root of what they're looking for. You actually have to go to the program delivery instructions and really understand that it's all about making a significant contribution culturally, right? So obviously sport, there are things that you could do. The last one that I did was for a retired NHL hockey player who came to Canada and was setting up hockey schools. Boom, perfect, right? You have to practice. You have to be at a very high level of coaching or performance. And so absolutely, we do these. But I highly encourage you to, I'll ring the bell, to go over to the site, to go right here and book a consult. As soon as it flips over, it should flip over, I think. There it goes. And book a consult and let's talk about it. And I can walk you through what you need to do. Ultimately, you can decide if you'd like us to work with you and help you. But I have an illustrator right now I'm working with, and a photographer right at this moment that I'm working with that are self-employed. And it's very, very case specific. Everybody is different. What's your idea? How are you going to support your family? There's business plans. I use Journey Business Plans, a company to help my clients build out their professional plans so that they're really good, rock solid. And that's what I recommend, Christine. So I hope that works. I'd love to learn more about your husband and what he does. And yeah. So very cool. Okay, someone works 6 months full-time plus 1 year part-time in the same NOC in the same company. Does that person meet eligibility criteria? 6 months full-time, 1 year part-time. It's possible. And guess what's in my course? I have a specific tool designed to help you calculate your hours. And when you fill in the boxes on the bottom, you can see if you meet the eligibility or not. Shah, click on the link. Go right here to my landing page, watch the video, you'll see what's inside, and register now. Do it. 2 days. Yeah, am I plugging my course? You're bloody right I'm plugging my course, because that course I know will help every single one of you that's watching this. I believe in it with all of my heart, and apparently other people, like we have here, also believe in it, including the people that just finished the course. I only had so much room to put on here, but even these awesome 4 people here, all, and you can see, look at what time this is at. These were at the 1 hour and 17 mark. So I say 1 hour, right? This is at 1 hour 17, 1 hour 16, 1 hour 15. Those were all, they all came in at the end of the session. And Yildiz, right off the bat, she's awesome. Boy, Yildiz is great. A great consultant doing it right. You know, and there's nothing wrong with getting help to make sure you understand things. When I've had areas, when I first started my practice, I loved to take courses. In fact, I took some courses from one of the groups, one of the consultant CLE groups, the education groups, I guess, whatever you want to call them, professional development groups, whatever. And some lawyers were teaching in those programs, and I took those courses. They were great, and they helped me to get up to speed. I can remember a time when I had a client who just wanted me to help him do the appeal on his spousal sponsorship, and I hadn't done a lot of those at that time. So I took a course from another lawyer, and it was awesome. They gave me just amazing tips on how to structure things, how to do the hearing, and it worked so well. You add in your own intelligence, right? Your own ability to legally reason and to write really, you know, coherently and concisely, and to address the legal aspects. And well, the hearings officer basically consented almost before the hearing started because we'd done things right, thanks to that lawyer who helped me. And the reality is sometimes you just need a little help, right? I remember I'll tell you a story. My wife, it just got resolved. So, okay, last winter, right before winter, my wife says, Mark, blow out the sprinklers in our backyard. So in Canada, many of us have underground sprinklers in our home, you know, in our backyard that waters our grass, keeps it nice and green. That's what we do here in Lethbridge. And my wife says, Mark, blow out the sprinklers. You have to get this, you know, this air compressor, and you blow the water out of the pipes. Because what happens if water stays in the pipes? Well, ask the people in Texas right now. Everything breaks. And did Mark do it? No. Why? Because I was getting ready to set up my firm. Like, seriously, I was setting up my firm last year. I was busy. And so come spring, guess what? I turn on the sprinklers, nothing. But there's this pool of water collecting. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So what do? I tell my wife, don't worry about it, honey. I'll fix it. It's totally fine. And she says, hire a professional, Mark. You're not experienced doing this. And I'm like, come on, I'm smart. I can figure this out. It's not rocket science. All I have to do is dig it up, replace the little valve, replace the part that broke because of the water. We'll be good to go. Cover it up. Done. No problem. Well, I then had started my firm, right? I was a little bit busy. And so 1 month turned to 2 months. Our grass still wasn't getting watered. It was not looking very good. My wife was not happy. And I finally got around to fixing it, only to get halfway done, and we had to leave somewhere else. Because of course I do it at the last minute, trying to, you know, prove I don't know what. And in the meantime, my wife is consistently, Mark, you just need to hire someone. So I turned the water off to the valve outside because it was open. I was fixing it. And we went away. And then I got a call from my kids, and they tell me that the city has sent someone over and knocked on their door and said that the neighbor was complaining because their backyard was flooding. Well, what happened was my children had gone around and had turned on the water to the valve because they wanted to fill up the hot tub in the back of our house because the water was low. They didn't know that the pipe was open, and they didn't know that they needed to turn the tap off because, hey, the hose has got the nozzle on it and, you know, it's closed. The water isn't running. But it was still flowing all into those pipes all the way down to the back of my yard, and it ran for about 2 days. Yes. The cost of getting that fixed. What does my wife tell me? Told you so. I hired a professional and it was fixed. Simple as that. I should have done it in the beginning. And the reality is sometimes in our lives, yeah, we can maybe sort things out or figure it out, but I can't tell you how many times it's just better to hire a professional. And yeah, so there you go. I don't know why I told you that story. Okay. Oh, actually, I do know why. Yes. And you should hire me and you should take the course and you should learn from someone who's done it every single day. Like there's very few days where I don't touch something related to express entry. I am the express entry lawyer. That's what I do. Okay. All right. Cruising down. There seems like there's no end. We really probably should wrap this up, but there's still like 120 people watching here. Yep, Erica, they are still approving LMIAs, but you have to be in an essential service and really be able to justify it. Merci beaucoup. You give me hope, sir. You bet, Tian. You're very, very welcome. Okay, let's see. Oh, Celine. Celine, you rule. Now, I'll tell you guys, Celine got an honorable mention in my awards. When I was giving these out, oh, Celine is awesome. She is so, so good. She's been just so awesome on here promoting, and she just finished the class. And yeah, she's not, you know, I should take this one and put it in the masterclass, right, Celine? That's so kind of you to do that. She says, get the masterclass. The lessons explain in detail everything you need to know in every stage of your EE journey. If you're confused how to start or when to start, go get the course. I'm going to give you one of these, my friend. That's super, super kind. Thank you. Okay, cruising on here. Yeah, so what's the masterclass? What is she talking about? The masterclass is this one here, guys. It's the one when you come in and you subscribe, you get access to all of the course material. But then, let's see. Okay, so this is the community. Let's see, where's our group here? I think it's here. Oh, here it is. Okay, and I've already created the next group for February the 22nd to March the 5th. And if you look over here on the sidebar, we just cleaned Celine. We just completed her class today, February the 19th. Oh, looks like someone was on there about 4 hours ago. I'm going to jump in and say hello. This one is waiting for you guys to come in. As soon as you register, you're admitted into here, and it's a private little group, members only. They get access to the direct 1 hours. And guys, I can hit this stuff high level, right? Like I'm answering questions high level here, but I can't really dive in deep, but I can in that group because every day, as Celine can attest, we go through piece by piece by piece in an orderly fashion. And when we get on a topic, if it's reference letters, we dive deep. And when one person asks a question, the reason this works so well is because 200 other people benefit because they're thinking the same thing. And probably 150 of them never even thought to ask that question. That's the beauty of this masterclass. It's master level. You're going to master express entry. And like I said repeatedly, to the point where you're telling your consultant, if you've hired them, fine, go for it. That's fine. You know, if you have any doubt, go to the YouTube channel. I've already showed you how to fire them if you don't like them, right? I'll flip back and just show you other folks here. If you go here, so let's see if we can go back. So this is Windmill, who are awesome. But if I'll go back to the homepage here, I created a video of those of you who are just wondering if you can trust your, well, I guess that's not the right page. I better go back to my channel here. You can go right here. Oh man, I got all things going on, don't I, guys? Oh, looks that right here. How to fire your consultant and get your express entry profile back. So if you don't like that, you can fire them. All right. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Aman says, CEC 1 year experience will be completed on March the 1st. So when should I create and submit my profile? March the 2nd. Okay, here's a tough one. Shah says, if someone chooses non-accompanying spouse, wait a minute, Shahzadbek. Okay, we got to take a look at this. Look at this. Oh man, it's been so long since I've had little ones like that. What an angel. Look at that cutie. He is an angel. I hope it's a he. Maybe it's a she. That baby is one cute kid, man. You are lucky. So lucky. Look at that little one. That is awesome. I love these. I love people who have pictures of the ones that matter most in their lives. And so cool. Okay. Someone chooses non-accompanying spouse and gets a nomination. Can I add my spouse after receiving the nomination from province or territory? When done correctly, Shaz, you can do it if it's done correctly. But I can tell you there's a lot of ways to screw it up, but it is possible. Yeah, you can do it. If you need any guidance, you know where to go. I'm ringing the bell. Actually, the sound effects is kind of low. Let me ring it again. You guys can't even hear that. There we go. There's the bell. Book a consult and I can walk you through it, but it is possible if it's done correctly. Okay. Rita says, Shatswarat Rai. About what? That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys rule. Okay, Robert says, hey, Mark, if I submitted my profile application days before my work permit expired, does it create any problem once an ITA is issued? If I submit my profile days before my work permit expired, does it create any problems once an ITA is issued? I don't know if I know the question to that or what you're really asking. There's, how would it cause a problem? Not quite sure what you're getting at there, Robert. I wish I could. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh boy. Okay, we better answer Manpreet's question here. She's got lots of big bold letters, capitalized, asterisks. Wow, we better answer this one. Okay, can I apply for, but don't get the idea. I'm not going to just choose yours because you've used lots of little fancy symbols. Although if you do have a Canada flag you can put on there, that might persuade me. Can I apply for an open work permit on a spouse basis who is on a work permit in Canada after selection of my profile and express entry, or I should wait for my COPR? Can I apply for an open spousal? Okay, well, there's nothing stopping you, Manpreet, from applying. Okay, so this is the thing. If you've got a spouse who's working and they're in a skilled occupation and they've got a valid work permit that's valid for at least 6 months, then you can submit a spousal open work permit. You can. Now, do they look at the fact the PR is in the queue? Do they look at the fact that, maybe you have an intention of immigrating to Canada one day? Can they use it against you? Well, it depends on your country. And, if India is your country that you're from, they often will refuse applications in those circumstances. Personally, I think you can judicially review that. You can challenge it for reasonableness. But ultimately, if it is refused, it's not going to affect your PR application. You just need to make sure you disclose it when you're submitting your EAPR. Okay. Berzerius says you're doing a great job exposing the widespread fraud by consultants. I'm doing my best. And if there's widespread fraud by lawyers, you can go back, and when Paul Hess in Manitoba was found to have embezzled, I don't know, was it millions of dollars from his clients? I can tell you that the ramifications were massive and swift. Fired by his firm, law society all over him, practice transported to another lawyer almost instantly, and that dude has got serious problems. And, disbarment is just like, that's a guarantee, right? And what did I do when I found that? I exposed that. I told the world about that. And the difference between the consultant regulator and the lawyers, well, the lawyers actually do stuff about people, in a regardless of whether or not it's something at a criminal level or not. I hope that the new regulator, which I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen with it, I hope that it has the teeth, that it's given the teeth. And when we're having this discussion 5 years from now, that the consultant regulator actually has the ability to remove consultants and to punish them and to fine them, and has the teeth to do it. The good Lord knows they've got enough money now with 7,000 consultants. There's no way in the history of the world. They've got lawyers now that are running the show, lawyers and other professionals that are trying to bring the organization to some level of respectability. And I hope that it works out. But I'll tell you, I sure hope that we're not 5 years down the road and we're having the same discussions about people being exploited and no mechanism for complaining. With lawyers, the law societies, oh my goodness, they take complaints seriously. All right. I think, guys, we may have to wrap up here. I think I'm just about ready to crash. I've been going for 2 hours and 22 minutes, and I am wasted. And there's a lot of questions, and you know what? Those of you who weren't able to get your questions answered, I only have a limited capacity. I definitely can't get to everyone. Hopefully you can appreciate that I sure did the very best I can, but it's just about midnight, and I've had about 3 to 5 hours sleep pretty much every night this week, and I'm going to crash hard unless I wrap up. One last plug, guys, one last plug. There's the officer. She is sitting in her desk. She's in her home because she can't work in the office. She's processing an application. She looks at it. She sees that there is this convoluted, whatever you want to call it, letter of explanation that is a dog's breakfast that's everywhere. She's been hunting and searching, trying to figure out what this person's trying to explain, problems with their information. She notices that the letter of explanation that the person, has tried to explain various documents that just isn't making sense, and the officer's getting confused, and she's getting frustrated. She's getting angry because she's looking at the clock. She knows she's not meeting her target. She knows she's looking at this application that's just a disaster. She can't find the answer, why they answered a question this way. She can't find the explanation. And she says, look, the onus is on you to prove and satisfy me, Mr. Applicant. And I'm not satisfied. And the consequence is maybe, if you're lucky, a further review by another officer who has more time to actually look at this mess that you've created, or an outright refusal. I'm done with this. I'm done. There's the refusal, and it's a click of the button and a couple little clicks to issue that refusal letter. And then that same officer, right after she gets finished this, so frustrated, realizing that now she has to make up time, she looks at your application. And you just finished going through my express entry step-by-step course, all directed and guided in that awesome little masterclass. You're prepared. Your application is exactly the way the officer wants to see it. There's no doubts. There's no concerns. She sees that you've got a reference. She sees that you've also uploaded a letter of explanation. Her feelings, like her heart starts to beat a little faster. She starts to feel this feeling of stress and anxiety build, knowing that she's going to have to face another letter of explanation. That's a nightmare. And then she looks at yours, and she sees that you have followed my little template on how to structure them. She looks at it. She sees that not only do you have a letter of explanation for the client information section, but you have letters of explanation that are strategic for each of the documents that need explanation. She reads it. It's so easy for her. She looks at this and says, what a difference. What a difference between what I just finished having to waste 5 hours of my time only to refuse, compared to this one that I whipped off in 30 minutes. Approved. This was the easiest application that I had to approve all day. That's what we're dealing with. You never get a second chance, you guys, to fix your reference letter after it's submitted. You never get a second chance to choose a different knock code. You never get a second chance to figure out that your police certificate is wrong. Right at the beginning of our session today, there was an example of someone who had their application refused because they'd used the wrong PCC. They had no idea. You don't get a second do-over when it comes to EAPR. You don't get a second chance. And you Feb 13ers who have just received this gift from heaven, you cannot afford to waste this opportunity. And that's why I created the course. Subscribe, join me, and you'll see for yourself. Click on the link below, and don't listen to me. Listen to what the testimonials of the people who just finished the course today had to say. All right. I'm wrapping this bad boy up. This has been an I think this is a record. I've never done it this long before, period. And there's still 114 people tuned in. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to all of your questions. Thank you so very much, you guys, for all of the really good questions that drove everything that I was sharing today. So this right here, I'll finish off with Tham here. Is there a chance? Is there a chance? you bet there's a chance. Get your profile in. If you're an Outlander, don't give up hope. If you are a CECer in Canada, get your profile submitted. There's absolutely a chance. Absolutely. All right, Prab, thank you. I'm grateful that you loved the live session. It was super long. All of you that have been here who have expressed, appreciation, that's what I feed off of. If I know that people are benefiting from this, then I will continue to do it time and time again, just like I have for the past 3 years or longer. All right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful weekend and stay strong. Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer, ex-immigration officer, and I was even a former high school teacher, signing off saying, see you later. Make sure to subscribe and share this.